Welcome to Bear Tracks, the official podcast for Butler Community College. In each episode, we feature inspirational and lively conversations with our graduates about their memories of student days, stories, challenges, and career highlights. We have so many alumni who are leading change and innovation in their respective fields around the world. And whether you're a recent graduate or a seasoned professional, we hope you'll find inspiration and new perspectives through the conversations we have on this show. Thank you so much for joining us and enjoy the episode. Today on Bear Tracks, we are joined by a Grizzly through and through, Heather Rinkenbaugh, who is our Dean of Online, High School, and Community Learning here at the college. Heather's been here for a while. She's got quite the story to tell us, so we're going to jump right in with her long-form Grizzly narrative story. Heather, thank you for joining me today.
Absolutely.
So tell us start to finish your journey at Butler thus far.
Wow. Okay, well, would have started as a student. They're back in 2004. So came to Butler right out of high school on a softball scholarship and ended up injuring my back. So switched actually to vocal music at semester of my first year and finished out the rest of my 2 years at Butler on that vocal scholarship. And definitely two of the best years of my college career and of my life, really. Truly made great friendships and made great connections, obviously, that brought me back. So from there, finished college, came back when I was finishing up my undergrad. Just needed a job to pay bills and while I finished college and ended up in the student life department as the administrative assistant to the dean of students and just fell in love with working with students in higher ed, getting to connect them to resources and make a difference in the lives of other people is just something I've always been passionate about. And so I served in that role for a few years and then had the opportunity to step into the director of residence life position. So overseeing our 377 students that live on campus and challenging, but also very rewarding position. Living where you work is an interesting dynamic, but I really enjoyed getting to work with students just in the day-to-day and helping provide an environment that helps them be successful in the classroom as well as outside. After that, I had the opportunity to move into the Director of High School Academic Partnerships position. So that actually took me off campus. I joked often that I kind of lived in a Butler vehicle because I drove from high school to high school within our service area, helping high school students enroll in college classes. And that really helped me step foot from the student services world into academics, which I really had no aspirations of doing, but learned something new and really have enjoyed that. And right before COVID hit, I interviewed and became the Dean of Online, High School, and Community Learning. And I've been in that position now for 4 years. And it's been quite the ride. Starting a brand new job where you oversee the online department and then a pandemic hits is very challenging. But we have an awesome team and I'm super grateful to get to lead them. Earlier this year, actually the very beginning of the year, I had the opportunity as well to step into the interim vice president of academics role. Our vice president left for a position in Arizona. So I've been doing that for the last 7 months. And so I'll get back to just doing my dean role soon. And I'm looking forward to that.
You also recently completed your PhD as part of being a dean. And would you have ever pursued something like that without being in these different opportunities here at Butler?
Oh, absolutely not. There were days in my undergrad that I wasn't sure that I would even finish my bachelor's. And I think that's part of what brought me to the higher ed area is I had great faculty and mentors that actually some of them now I work as a dean alongside who really came alongside and encouraged me to keep going. And once I really found that passion for working with students, the rest, my master's and pursuing the doctorate were easy compared to the 4-year degree for sure.
Yeah. It's because it's, like you said, it's your passion. It's the thing you get to focus on the most. I found that with my master's degree too. I was like, do I want to do this? This has always been my goal. I'm going to do it so that I can have achieved my goal. But then I just really enjoyed it because that was the thing I loved to do. And so that was the thing I got to focus on. So as the Dean of Online, High School, and Community Learning, you are reaching out to a lot of students who actually don't even come to campus, maybe ever. What are some of the unique challenges and opportunities that you have found go along with that?
Sure. Well, first, we're getting to essentially take what we do here on campus out to our service area and out to people clear across the country, which is pretty amazing because we believe in the work that we do here and believe it has tremendous value. Definitely every single one of those sectors has its own challenges. Online, there's increasing challenges in terms of artificial intelligence, concerns with academic integrity, making sure that the people are who they say they are, right, when they take online classes. But you get to just extend what we're doing. Our amazing faculty are getting to share that with people far beyond what our building's footprint can do, which is pretty incredible. I think with high school, every high school has their own policies, and they get to set their own rules for what they accept for credit, what they don't, when students can take classes. But again, you're getting to be a part of really transforming people's lives and helping them, some of them even get that spark of that passion to figure out what they want to do. Another area within our division is the Dorado Correctional Facility. So we're able to talk about changing people's lives, people who are incarcerated that now have the opportunity to earn Pell Grant and change their lives so that when they are released, they can enter the workforce and helps reduce that recidivism.
That kind of, I know that's something you've worked really hard on. What's something that's been a project or experience that has been the most fulfilling in this role, and then kind of looking back on your other ones as well?
Oh, wow. The most fulfilling. It's hard to choose just one.
It is.
Most recently in this role, I would say what we've been able to do at the correctional facility. In May, we had our very first graduation. And so we had the opportunity, obviously, we're doing adult basic education, but we're also doing post-secondary. So we hosted a single graduation ceremony for those students. And so the front row was students who were just completing some sort of certification, like work keys or basic customer service, things like that. And then there were students finishing their GED, high school diploma, and then students graduating from Butler with their associate's degree. And so as that graduation ceremony carried out, you saw each row root for the next. And so seeing those students that earned a single credential then were encouraged and inspired by those who got their GED, and then the same for those who got their associate's degree. So it's just truly incredible to think being in that sort of an environment to be able to learn. And it's an extremely stressful environment, and our staff handle it beautifully, but it's difficult. Our faculty have to adapt to the classroom, to the restrictions. The students have to adapt. Some of them have to learn how to learn again because they haven't had that opportunity. So it's challenging, but I would say definitely one of the most rewarding.
And on almost a flip side of that, Butler has the early college academies, which juniors and seniors in high school can go through. And so many of them earn their associate degree even before they've walked in their high school graduation ceremony. And we are a very unique institution that does that in the state of Kansas. Can you talk about the similar way those students are working especially hard, just in a very different environment?
Absolutely. So these students are juniors and seniors in high school. They start as juniors. They're taking a full-time load of college classes in addition to being a full-time high school student. So all of these students are also involved in extracurricular activities, whether it be vocal, music, instrumental, student government, you name it. These are the kind of the cream of the crop students. They have to be academically prepared and mature enough to take on that full-time college role. So naturally, those are going to be the ones that are so heavily involved in things at their high school. But we're really focused on giving them that opportunity to both be a college student, but not lose out on the high school experiences and the memories that they make. And so, they're putting in a lot of work. The cohort environment that we've built with that program really allows those students, and they're coming from all over the county, sometimes out of the county. And so they aren't in a class with all students from their high school. They're from all different ones. And so they get to know each other really well, and they really bring each other through the program. They have a lot of study groups, and they meet up on the weekends, and they really support each other. And then in addition to that, our team that helps check in with them. They're communicating with their high school counselors. So they have extra layers of support because they're handling a dual full-time load on top of any activities and work that they might be doing.
And high schoolers, they are not eligible for federal financial aid as well. And so these are students who are really taking it upon themselves ahead of time to get this education, but there's still such a cost savings there. And I know they've saved millions of dollars, and they've also, as they graduate, they've acquired millions of dollars in scholarships that just kind of propels them forward even more at just the tender age of 18.
Yes, we had a student not too long ago that was finishing her MBA, and she was like 21 years old. So to have these students that they're not stopping at Butler and they really come back and share, Butler gave me that foundation that really, in two ways, right? Number one, giving them confidence in what they always thought was their passion. But we've also seen students that came through the academy that said, I saved money and time pursuing this, and then I found out I didn't want to do that. And I was able to pivot, and I hadn't wasted any time, and I had saved quite a bit of money and could still transfer all of the general education classes that I took.
So it's an amazing program. It's been around for a decade. How many students have we moved through the early college academies?
Yeah, so over the last 10 years, we have had 725 graduates. And you talked earlier about saving. So by coming to Butler, and regardless of where they go on, our students have saved over $2.5 million and have earned over $27 million in scholarship offerings.
Wow.
That's a big misconception that we talk about a lot with our graduates is we get parents that are afraid to put their students through that program because they're afraid that if they finish 2 years of college and high school, that they won't be eligible for those first-year scholarships at a four-year school. And we're just not seeing that. We're seeing students that are still eligible for those first-year scholarships because we know that transfer scholarships tend to be a little bit less.
Right.
But those students are still earning plenty of scholarships in addition to saving what they did by choosing Butler.
Well, like you said, they're the cream of the crop, probably, of their high school classes. They're the ones really putting in the work to do this. So there's plenty of opportunity for them to find financial opportunity to continue their education. So it's not hard to see why this year you were named as one of the Wichita Business Journal's 40 Under 40, which is a great honor many of our colleagues have received. Talk to me about being part of that process and being in that cohort of really amazing leaders from around the Wichita metro area.
Yeah, very humbling and honoring. I had an absolute blast getting to know the rest of that class. Just the opportunity you have to interact with people that are the same age as you, that are really passionate about what they're doing in all different fields. They're people that I never would have met any other way. And to be able to stand with that group of people and to say, hey, we're making a difference in our communities and in the greater Wichita area, it was pretty fun. Pretty fun to interact and pretty amazing to see the great work that's being done in preparing the future of our communities.
I always feel like when I'm out and about, if I'm wearing Butler things or people learn that I work at Butler, you just kind of always get praise. You always get acknowledgement of what a great institution this is. Did you feel that when you were with all the other nominees?
Yeah, absolutely. I had one of the honorees in particular that was like, oh, I need to talk to you. I'm doing this work at Goodwill and I really need to connect people to this. And who do I talk to? And so, yeah, our reputation definitely precedes us. But also, like, if you wear that Butler, be ready to answer any and every question about the college because people ask. They know who we are and they know that the work we do is quality. So, which I think is cool.
Oh, I love it. Many a time I've given my business card out. And if they ask a question I don't know, I'm like, I don't know, but here's my card. I will find the answer. Reach out to me and I'll get back to you because we're in the business of helping people just achieve their goals. And if this is their goal, then I'm absolutely down for it.
Yes, agreed.
What's the best story you can tell from being director of residence life that is safe to be on the airwaves?
Oh, wow. It's just a very unique job and very fun. I think some of the best memories I have are students that they recognize when you show up, when you know who they are, when you know what they're involved in. And on the flip side of that, they recognize you and what you do. So one of the funniest stories I have is obviously we dress up for work, right? And I live where I work. So I walk out my back door and I'm right there on campus. And so leave in the morning dressed up. But the second 5 o'clock hit, I was in comfortable clothes. I may still be out and about on campus in the evening, but I was not dressed up and usually had my dog with me. And so it became this joke with our students that it was like, well, there's before 5 Heather and there's after 5 Heather. And she looks way different just because I was comfortable.
Yeah.
But I think the students needed to see that too. So like, this is a relaxed, this is your home. This is also my home. And then the other one I always thought was funny is when everyone would be packing up to leave, they would say, when do you get to go home for the summer? I'm like, well, I don't really have a beach house anywhere. This is where I live.
This is my home.
For now. Yeah.
Butler is home in more ways than one.
It definitely is.
I'm going back through your timeline now. So what's your favorite memory as a student?
Wow. That's going back a ways.
Not that far.
It has to be just being on stage with my classmates and probably final show sophomore year. Just being out with all the sophomores on the stage, singing together, and you just got to relive. The faculty do such an amazing job of building that community in that program. And so it really was like leaving your family after that year, but getting to spend that show week just reliving all the memories that we'd made that 2 years. And I would say that would be my favorite memory.
Yeah. It's hard to not love those times, that's for sure. So as co-interim vice president of academics with Dr. Phil Sperry, who is our dean of academic support and effectiveness, what was a big surprise, or was there any that came to you as you were in that role? We've now filled that position with Dr. Barry Robinson. He's now our vice president of academics. But what was a surprise in that experience for you, being a dean and being this co-interim VPA?
I think the biggest surprise for us, for Dr. Sperry and I both, really, was the workload. I think we knew it would be a lot, but it was a lot more than we anticipated. A lot of meetings. We even heard from one of the former VPAs here that, like, I always thought that should be 2 people because it's so much. Academics is a huge area of the college, a lot of people, a lot of departments. So that was a surprise. Not surprising to have more and more meetings on your calendar. Mm-hmm. But it really was a rewarding experience to get to see the college from a different lens and getting to be a part of making those decisions that so significantly impact our work at the dean's level. So I think what we learned was having 2 people at that vice president's and exec council table helped us better relay that information down to the deans, because it's impossible to absolutely absorb and remember every single thing that was discussed. But between 2 of us, we really could reiterate some of those conversations that really helped us lead our dean's team a little bit better.
That's awesome. I watched you go to all of those meetings and stuff, and I thought, I don't know how Heather and Phil are making it through every day, but you're surrounded by a good support team.
Absolutely.
So now that you're back in your regular role as dean, what are you currently working on that may be new in your department that is exciting?
Well, we are looking at our online footprint in particular. So we talked a little bit about our ability to reach people even outside the country, and our online location, if you want to call it that, is one of our largest in terms of enrollment growth, even despite an enrollment decline just across the country. And so our team's really been focused on right now, the current way that online is developed is really to be an additional modality for the students that are right here. But we have the potential with the quality and just Butler's standards to expand that footprint to actually reach well beyond our service area, which could help with all kinds of things. Obviously, program exposure, revenue, and enrollment for the college. So we're excited about that. We're also ramping up the way that we present options to high school students. So the Early College Academy has been very popular over the last 10 years, but it's not the right fit for every student. We talked about earlier about that being kind of the cream of the crop. And so we've developed some other things within our high school programs that give them the opportunity to take gen eds if that's what they want to do. They can pursue that 2-year degree with 1 year in high school and then coming to Butler afterwards. We call that H plus B plus U. And then the academy is still an option as well. So broadening those options, they've always been there, but we've just never defined them. And so just being more intentional about recognizing that a lot of high school students can take classes. They don't have to be that cream of the crop. And we have the support system in place to help those students be successful.
And it's such a great economic decision, especially for Butler County high school students because of the discounted tuition that they get. And I'll just make a note as somebody who works in the foundation here at Butler that even though high schoolers don't get federal financial aid, they can get foundation scholarships because our scholarships are established by donors. And so we've been able to impact some of those students that way over the years as we became more aware of that need. And I think that's a special thing that we're able to contribute to the growth of those programs and hopefully more in the future. So tell us about some of the other distance learning opportunities we have, because online is certainly one and the high schoolers are another one, but we have even more campuses beyond El Dorado and Andover.
Yeah, so we have 3 primary locations that come to mind. First being, we have a significant partnership with McConnell Air Force Base. Actually, this year will be our 50th year.
Wow.
So planning a big celebration for that. We're really excited. Doing some research, but potentially the longest standing partnership for education and military ever. So hopefully we're still doing research on that. But it's been a long-standing partnership, a great partnership to work with members of the Air Force and their families and spouses, but also serving the communities that surround McConnell Air Force Base. It's just been a tremendous partnership, and I look forward to continued partnership into the future. And then we have 2 locations, Marion and Council Grove, out in the Flint Hills. And so when you think about the community college mission and the fact that we are open access, and that's just at the root of who we are, it's our foundation to provide those opportunities to everybody. And we're in a great location right next to the greater Wichita area, but we have students out like in the Flint Hills who don't have that same access. And so we've been able to take that product out to them. So we have a great team out there that really kind of floats between both locations, right there near or in the high schools. And we have a great opportunity coming to work with those schools to provide some more access, not just to general education, but what can we do to meet the growing need of career and technical education in those rural communities.
It's amazing. We touch a lot of lives in a lot of locations.
Absolutely.
As we wrap up, is there anything else you want to share about your storied career here at Butler, even as a student or now and maybe into the future? Anything you want to share?
This is a great place to be, both as a student and as an employee. In the interim VPA role, I've had the opportunity to be a part of our Employee Connect, which is our kind of employee onboarding and orientation. And part of that, we get to share our Butler story. And so one of the things that's been neat is I've gotten to share how I started at Butler, where I am now, and the support I've had along the way. But also, you get to hear what brings people here. And almost every time, they have some sort of connection to the college in some way. They took classes, a parent or somebody worked here. It truly is a family atmosphere. And then I would say, too, about opportunities to be involved in what the foundation's doing, and not just what we're doing in academics, but how we support the whole student and the whole employee. I've seen lots of people come together. In my housing days, I was able to call on the foundation and say, hey, I had a student that just got dropped off. He doesn't have anything. And some of these students come from climates that aren't as cold as ours. So I've gotten to work alongside employees that will even give money out of their own pocket to help give a student a coat or some bedding or something like that. And so it's just a truly amazing place to work, to go to school. And we don't hear for nothing that students wish this was a 4-year school because it just is a special place.
It is. I was one of those students. Thank you, Heather. Thank you for all of your advice and information about our high school and online and distance programs, because I think anytime we can continue to educate the listeners about all of the different ways we assist students, that's great. So thank you for everything, and thank you for being on Bear Tracks.
Absolutely. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thanks for listening to Bear Tracks, the official podcast of Butler Community College. We hope you found the conversation as entertaining and enlightening as we did. If you enjoyed the episode, be sure to subscribe to our podcast on your favorite platform, and don't forget to visit our website or email us at beartrackspodcast@butlercc.edu for more resources and opportunities to connect. Thanks for tuning in, and we look forward to bringing you more thought-provoking conversations on the next episode of Bear Tracks.